In today's video, we will be discussing center method and count method. Hey champions, if you are interested in these topics, then keep on watching. You can subscribe to our channel for more such videos. So let's start with the first method on our list, which is center. As the name suggests, this function will center align the string after padding the left and the right of the string with the fill character. The syntax of this method is string.center and has two parameters, length and fill character. The first parameter, length, will tell Python what the length of the final string after padding it with the fill character should be. And the second parameter, fill character, is the character used to pad the input string. The fill character is space by default, that is, if no fill character is mentioned in the syntax, then the output string will be padded with spaces. Now let's look at an example to understand this better. We have a string champion and the length of the string is 8. When we call the center method on it and pass 10 as a parameter to this method, it will return the string champion after padding the left and the right of the string with spaces. Space here is the default fill character unless specified. If we write center 10 and pass asterisk as the second parameter, then Python will return the string champion after padding the left and the right of the string with asterisk. Note that the length passed as the parameter in the function should be greater than the length of the original string. This method will return the string after padding it with the fill character. Also note that this method will not modify the original string. Let's see this example in action in Jupyter Notebook. We have a string here named champion, and when we call center 10 method on it, the output is the string that has been padded with the spaces on the left and the right. Let's confirm this by checking the length of the original string and the updated string. When we call the length method on both the strings, we can see that the length of the original string is 8, while that of the updated string is 10, which is what we gave in the parameter. Let's try another example where we will use asterisk as the fill character this time. When we call the center 10 and pass asterisk as the fill character on our string champion, the output has asterisk on the left and the right of our original string. Now let's see an additional scenario where a smaller length is passed as the parameter to the method. We have a string champion whose length is 8. We will call the center method on it and pass 5 as the argument. Here 5 is less than the length of the original string champion. Let's see what happens when we run this code. When we run it, Python will return the original string, which will remain unchanged even after calling the center method on it. Now let's move on to our second method, which is count. This function returns the number of times a substring has appeared in a given string. That is, it will return the count of occurrence of a substring in a string. The syntax of this method is string.count and has three parameters: substring, start index and stop index. The first parameter is substring, which is the string whose occurrence you want to search in the original string. The second parameter is the start index, which is the index from where you want to start searching. And the third parameter is the end index, which specifies the index where you want to end your search. Note, the first parameter, which is the substring you want to search, is mandatory, and the count method will give a type error if this parameter is not specified. Start and end index are the optional parameters, and it is not necessary to specify them every time you execute the count method. If they are not specified, then Python will assume the starting index as 0 and the end index as the end of the string. Let's look at an example to understand this better. We have a string she sells seashell on a seashore, and now we want to know how often C appeared in this string. So when we write c.count and pass C as the parameter, then we get 2 as the output, which tells us that C has appeared twice in our string. This method returns an integer that denotes the number of occurrences of a substring in the original string. Let's see this example in action in Jupyter Notebook. For scenario 1, we will only provide the mandatory parameters to the count method and skip the other two parameters. We have a string she sells seashell on a seashore and want to know how often the substring sc appeared in our original string. For that, we will write s.count and pass sc as the parameter, and when we execute this statement, we will get 3 as the output. For scenario 2, let's see what happens when we don't provide any parameter to the count method. For that, we will write s.count and not provide any parameter. Once we execute it, Python will give us a type error proving that we should provide the mandatory parameter, which is the substring we want to search when we execute this method. Now for scenario 3, we will provide the start and the end index as the parameter to the count method. We have the same string s and we want to know how many times has se appeared between the start index of 5 and the end index of 10. For that, we will write s.count and pass se as the substring to be searched, 5 as the start index and 15 as the end index. And Python will return 1, which implies that this time Python has used the starting index as 5 instead of 0 and ending index as 10 instead of the last index of the string, and has searched for substring se between two indexes. That's it for today's video. We will cover more string functions in our upcoming videos. You can share your thoughts or questions in the comment box. Subscribe for more such videos. Bye and meet you in the next one.